I am still not over yesterday's revelations. I still am finding it hard to comprehend that Adonis Paul really went all this time thinking my grandmother had paid the general district attorney $50,000 to seal up that case for us. Like, even if my grandmother had paid for a retainer, which is what they're now saying it wasn't that she paid for me to have a lawyer. She went to a lawyer and asked advice. That was all. Which is not quite the same as having a lawyer in a murder trial, but sure. So Adonis Paul took that statement from my lying aunt, and the only lawyer he could find in that document that possibly could have been proceeding over me was somebody who it is very, very impossible to privately hire to see over your case. So I don't understand how, even with his supposedly good mind, he's not crazy. He's a talk show host. He's supposedly smart. Okay. And yet that was the outcome you came to? You were so desperate that you couldn't just admit you had been lied to, that you had to say, no, see this name here, this person who you clearly could not hire because he has a position way too large for that. That's the person that you hired. And then my aunt saying that she just was regurgitating lies from my other aunt who's now dead, so nobody can question that. What the fuck? Like, even if Martha was the one that told Kathy that she thought I had a lawyer, right? Just go ahead and say it. Okay, Martha ran off her mouth and said something wrong. Sure. Kathy is the one that has been doing interviews and spreading these lies with absolutely no proof other than, well, my sister said, that my mother said, that God said. Just keep going to more people that can't be questioned. It'll be fine. It's possible that my grandmother told Martha things because Martha talked to my grandmother. It's much easier to get information out of somebody when you communicate with them. Kathy, on the other hand, would not speak to her mother. Kathy wouldn't even send her mother birthday cards. She had a big stack of them up on top of the TV when we came over to visit. She could say, well, you see, Mama, I set them up and I was going to send them out, and yet they never made it to the mailbox. I know you sit there and you cry every year on your birthday when you don't get it, but it's right there. I'm just so busy. It's a big laugh. It's a big game. You'll never know how much it hurt your mother to find those cards on top of your television, and for you to laugh it off as just you didn't have time to get them to the mailbox. She cried, Kathy. Every year she cried when you would not call her or send her a card on her birthday. But thank God, now that she's dead, you can do interviews with YouTubers and talk crap and lie about what she may or may not have ever said to you or your siblings. Martha actually talked to your mother in ways that you never did. So it is possible that she has information there in her grave with her that you do not have yourself because you were not present at the time, Kathy. You were too busy being fabulous, right? Too busy with your perfect life and your perfect children and your perfect drugs. Well, now you can take your perfect shit and keep it there in Georgia and off of the internet where it's messing up my perfect shit that I've finally started getting together. Kathy is the one that has been doing interviews and lying to people about me. Not my grandmother, not Martha. If Kathy's not going to take responsibility for the lies that come out of her mouth without saying, well, somebody else told me that and I didn't bother to research it. Even if somebody else told you that, you should have made sure it was true before telling thousands of people. It's not an excuse. It's not true anyway. I know Kathy. I know Martha. I know my grandmother. And I know exactly what this situation is. And I wish more people knew my family so that they could understand, but they will. You keep showing who you really are, and trust me, Kathy, the world is going to know you and your family for what you really are. Have fun with that.